September 30th, 2025. Today, a couple places, Golden Corral, there was investigators talking about what happened last night about 1 o'clock, about those motorcycle gang driving Michelle around and outside her. Then her confessing, was this whole thing to pay off your family's drug debt? Yes. I'm sorry. I found that tape of her talking to her friend Matt on January 13th. It was January 13th, 23. How he went to Ohio drug dealer. And they said this whole thing was a drug scam. And that they were saying that the agent over her case was in debt to those drug dealers. It was your family. Yes, I'm sorry. I mean, it was bad. He's like, you had her skull bashed in, had her tortured and raped because your family had a drug debt. Yes, I'm sorry. And you could hear her they driving around her screaming. I was sound asleep. I'm awake. I'm like, oh my God, hell was breaking loose outside. All those people got human trafficked. That's why they were threatening that agent. And here it was your family. And that's why they were threatening him, his life. Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, it was bad. She confessed and confessed. They were talking about a Golden Corral. When Walmart 62, a couple of the guys were laughed a little bit about it. How those bikers got her to confess. Some other guys were in here. Do you have the tapes of that guy saying he did all this because they thought they threatened Michelle? And that when her ex-husband was dealing with his office, he said yes. And the others ones calling him the agent over case, yes. Okay. He said, I heard what happened with Michelle. And was talking about that. How they got her to confess last night. I'm telling you, that girl, all you have to do is raise your voice and she sings like a canary. In 23, I was out in North Canton. I went to go to work and there wasn't a bunch of vehicles following me. I thought, where'd my harassers go? Okay. Got out of my car. I don't know if it's right before I walked in or I went back out to get something. And off in the distance, some young girl was yelling at her. No one would show up today to harass her. They said you guys framed her before. Did you frame her before? She yells out, yes, we framed her before. And if you don't tell anybody, I'll give you money. I thought this whole neighborhood heard you. See, that's where March 27th, 25, the guy that was dating her, the agent, they act like it was Officer John. And the sheriffs have been saying that he's a federal agent. His name's not John. Okay. Showed up after 1 o'clock. I'm glad where I stayed up and I went through everything. He said, I'm glad she stayed up and went through everything. He said, I had already told Michelle I never wanted to see her again. And yes, I'm good with it. He said, I got her to confess that that doctor from before was not one of hers, but worse for them, and they had lied. He was one of her doctors, and she actually doesn't know who he is. And I got it out of her that when they bashed in my head, they tried to kill me or leave me incompetent. It didn't work. He had also got it out of Dave that a girlfriend from before me made him marry me so I could get a job at my dad's factory. And so she'd have free insurance and he could give her money. The woman using my insurance was another girlfriend. He had even got it out of that family that lost their kid in a traffic accident. Why would you say it offended you that someone called her a faker 6 months after that accident and she had nothing to do with it? They said it didn't. It didn't even concern them. They just lied. So people would help out. That man needs a raise. A big hug. See, that Michelle, where those bikers, they were talking, those bikers got scared her and she confessed to everything last night. That this whole thing was her family's drug debt. And they were screaming, you realize all those people got human trafficked because of your family's drug debt? Yes, I'm sorry. That's why they were threatening that agent's life. Yes, I'm sorry. She had her skull bashed in and she was raped and tortured because your family had a drug debt. Yes, I'm sorry. All you have to do is raise your voice. That girl sings like a canary. Told you, even some young girl got her to confess that they've raped me before. See, I never had these people in my home. Like they said, in June or July of 23 up in Akron, they told people not to say anything to me, that I had never met the man that did this to me in person. And it's documented, verified, everything was photoshopped on me. See, that's where January 5th, 25, the investigators come in. What is this? Another FBI agent lied to a U.S. Marshal. She was weird with herself. We always knew it was photoshopped her washing herself in the shower. They photoshopped that. And they had drugged her and told her to say it before. We always knew that. We already got the agent over her case, taped, saying that he let all this happen because he thought she threatened his daughter. And to find out she didn't even know who she was. Was the FBI getting even with her for thinking she threatened one of their kids? And here she didn't even know who she was. Do they realize how not funny it is? That's where December 18th, 24. Walmart 62 had happened. Well, they keep them for years, I found out. Two guys walk in. He said Karen didn't know who Michelle was till January, February of 19. No, I made sure of it. Those people said she threatened her, and if she threatened her, I didn't care what they did to her. I still never talked to her in person. Get it? I told that drug dealer that bet after everything he had done to her, no one had ever wanted her to leave her alone. He's in with the drug dealers. That Karen's getting remarried. I knew she had it in her. And then you go, what is it, January 30th or 31st of 25? I was down in Carrollton and some idiots say stuff to me. So I go off and then I start talking about it being a medication error. Medical malpractice that almost killed me. Then Terry Coberly seeing that guy almost kidnapped me, and this other guy's like, well, later on that day, Walmart 62, they both show up off in the distance. And he's telling them what he had found out. He's like, I already feel bad about everything. I found out she didn't even know who Michelle was. And those people lied. She threatened her. And then they had told him that it was a medication or made me sick before. I really feel bad. And Terry Coberly actually seen that guy try to kidnap her. I really feel bad. I told her ex-husband when they called down to my office, tell him I wasn't there anymore. Hmm? And that the police said she had rights. And they'd never say a word to her. What do you think about that? So, where they said the guy in Maslin was helping him get away with crimes, what's his problem? Helping him get away with crime. Even January 25th, 2019, they were talked about him 18, 19, 20. Mentioned him again last month. Okay? That's him. Even Josh, when I told him I was dating a retired Maslin police officer, he said, Maslin police. He said, Maslin. He said there was a guy in Maslin helping him get away with everything. Dad found out he wasn't there anymore. He freaked out and fled the country. That's him. That's Michelle's dad. The family behind this. Where even 2 days ago, what was it? Over the weekend, I was up at, a couple days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, I was up in Summit Mall. People were walking around saying that someone, her ex-husband's girlfriend's dad and his friends, ran a drug scam on. And other people talking about it, how not funny it is. And some girls getting smart with me. It's a good thing you did that tape of telling Michelle how to take care of herself when they thought they were threatening. They were going to get you for saying she looked like a prostitute. Well, January, February 19, even the cops thought she was. I'm sitting at Faith Family Church. I'm all dressed up for church. And these teenagers come in, and some young girl yells out, I'm the one that dates Dave. I turn around and look. I thought, you don't even look 18. And then I'm the one that dates her husband. Points at me. It's like, you don't even look 18. You don't look 100 pounds. I don't believe you. He's 60. And then she's going on and on and on. And how she, now they call the cartel the boys. How she slept with the boys and she had one of the guys' clothes on. That's why she looks so bad. Okay? She was wearing one of the guys' outfits. We go to leave. The officers surround me. Is that girl even legal today? I thought that. Are they setting her ex-husband going out with a teenage prostitute? Thought that too. What is she, 15, 16? Thought that too. One cop said I picked her at 14. Some guy walks in between us. I told those people she didn't know who she was, and I made sure of it. And that none of this is funny. See, that's where that guy showed up with that other guy on December 18th, 24 in Walmart 62. It's that family. Where the Louisville police showed up May 30th, 25, 1 o'clock in the morning. They're outside talking with a lady. Said, the investigators found May 26, 25 in Walmart 62 of the cartel, saying this whole thing is a scam from Bill from the Freemason and the dirty doctor not being one of hers worse for them and they lied. I didn't think about this being a scam. That other Louisville officer said she mentioned Bill from the Freemasons. Said the originals found that this whole thing is a scam. Said the investigators found the original case. Their ex-husband hired 2 men on his own. One said they were attorneys, so it made it illegal. No, it don't. It makes it worse illegal. Very much. Right on Google, if an attorney sets up buying cameras in your home, they would be disbarred and criminally charged felony invasion of privacy. If they drug you for a fake confession, it's pharmaceutical torture. They go to jail. Nobody can do it. Nobody in a prosecutor's office, nobody can do it. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements with a court order without a conflict of interest. See, that's where the whole thing of it is. When I called the hotline, Cried my eyes out. Next day, I couldn't hardly wake up. They had drugged me up so bad. When the phone's ringing, I let it go to voicemail. Later on, I woke up. I was so drugged up, I couldn't even stand up straight. Made it to the bathroom, then to the refrigerator, got something to drink, climbed back in bed, listened to the voicemail. This is Agent Dada calling me back. I can't. I fell back to sleep. Second day, not much better. Third day, made myself get up. Sitting on the front porch, holding my head. I feel drunk and I don't drink. What's wrong with me again? Got enough air in my face, called one of my witnesses. Then I gave the hotline, said they'd witness for me. Went out and got a card, put that agent's number in it. Dropped it off down at the mall. Her manager put it in her locker. Went up to Apostolic Church of Barberton. He's up there telling on me. Bob Hamer gets in Dave's face, screams at him in front of hundreds of people. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. I walk off. Women walk up. He knows she's being drugged, being raped. He said he didn't care. I'm covered in bruises. Severely infected. Lost 18 pounds. Been throwing up, dizzy, and almost passing out. And I thought it was a well water giving me cancer. I go in and sit down. They follow me. He knows she's being drugged, being raped, and he said he didn't care. If she was going to be faking, she was like the strangest lie to cover up Tim and Katie. She was going to be faking she was sick when that family was grieving. They weren't grieving. That was 6 months later. And it's a baby lie. It had nothing to do with her father murdering her kid by speeding, running a stop sign into a semi. And it was a baby lie to cover up Tim and Katie. And he said if she was going to be mean to their women. Now, I already told the hotline I had no contact with those people. That 15 years before that minister had pushed my son to suicide, then how would you know? Why I started going to this other church in 2010 to like 2011 or 12. They were making up stuff on me, and I went over and visited like 2 times with my husband at the time, and to see if they'd say something. I haven't went back since like 2010 to 2012. Here it is 2018. Then how would you know? I said I only have these people's phone number. I have no contact with them, so they knew I wasn't mean to them. They knew they were lying. He said she was going to be mean to those women. They're women. He didn't care what they did to her, and he was going to turn her back over to him. Told him he was going to defraud me before he even talked to me. Dave comes in, let's go, get out in the truck. You called the FBI on me. I yelled at him. I said, what'd you expect with people threatening my life and trying to harm me? And he's like, I gotta kill you myself. Goes for a loaded gun. I put my hand on the council and he beats me all the way home. I almost jumped out on the highway. I ran from it when I got home. Next day, rivers of tears. Call him, tell him someone told on me, you liar. I tell him about the guy that threatened to knife me or trying to go, calls me a liar. I said he tried to kidnap me before. You liar. He's like, oh, come on. Even if a church person seen him, they'd never verify it. Well, Terry did. That's why I didn't tell him about Terry. He said, I've met with that family in my office, the one her father murdered a kid speeding, ran a stop sign in a semi. And I wasn't even there. Those people. And I met with all those church people, and I know they're trying to kill you because of basically strangest liar called me a faker. I said I really was sick before. He's like, you liar. He's like, was there a camera above the bench when you heard that guy's voice when he threatened a knife? I don't know. And he's like, you either say you're a liar or I'll leave you there. And he's screaming at me, and he's like, he said, I'll arrest you. He said, I'll come up and put you in jail. You hear me? You say you're a liar and I'll arrest you. And I'm like, fine, whatever. Conspiracy to commit murder, attempt to murder, or federal crimes, and 20 years federal prison. So why didn't you arrest him? Instead of yelling at a drugged up rape victim that couldn't think fast enough. Then he's like, I want you to say you're faking you were sick. I almost died. See, that's one of the things. That biker was yelling at him. One of the things, he said, I listened to that tape. The only one that can tell you can't say anything is a judge. I didn't even think about it. And that police don't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. We all know that. And that agent's just to hire a police officer, like they said. It takes a judge. He's been scamming all of us. Oh, he was screaming at that girl. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last night. But that agent's like, I want you to say you're faking you were sick. I said I really was sick before. He's like, uh, you either say you're faking or I'll leave you there. I said, but I really was sick before. You say it or I'll leave you there. I said, but they'll kill me. So he's like, I've met with that family in my office and all those church people. I know they're trying to kill you. And he says, strangers lie. And you need to realize what you've done. And I don't blame him for trying to kill you. He actually says that like an investigator said. I almost fell out of my chair. He talks to her like that. I said, I really was sick before. See, that's one of the things that biker was saying. I found out those doctors, even off where I listened to September of 23 when the drug cartel got it out our ex-husband. He had admitted that it was a medication error that made her sick before, and those doctors were encouraging them to sue her. Oh, they offered to go to court with us. That is documented fraud, medical malpractice, and medication errors that almost killed me. And it's documented fraud. They wrote it up as fraud. They were defrauding you, ripping you off, making you sick, and wanting to do unnecessary procedures. It's wrote up as fraud. See, that's one of the things that biker was yelling at him, at that Michelle. I listened to September 23 where the cartel said they had got it out of her ex-husband. That asked him if it was a medication error that made her sick before. He said yes. And they did encourage him to sue those doctors. They even offered to go with us and back us that it was a medication that made me sick, and they almost killed me. And it was wrote up as fraud, and they were defrauding me. And they encouraged us for like 2 or 3 years. It was that bad. They were lying so bad, they said I had brain tumors. They were setting me up to do an unnecessary brain surgery, and there was no tumors, there was nothing. There was nothing wrong with me, but my muscles locked up, and they caused massive swelling, heart attacks, seizures, thyroid, adrenal gland shut down. And they were lying on all these horrible diagnoses, including brain tumors. And they were just ripping me off, and they almost killed me. It's that bad. If I would have reported them, they would have went to jail. There was somebody on Google that did that, and a doctor last year got 50 years. Get the idea? And it's wrote up as fraud. Not just medication errors. It's medical malpractice, medication errors, and fraud. And they offered to go to court with Dave and I if we sued them to back us. It was that bad. And it's wrote up as fraud. Okay? But yeah, that biker was yelling. He said, the cartel got it out of our ex-husband, that it was medication errors that made her sick before, and those doctors encouraged him to sue her, or to sue them to sue those doctors. Did you know that? Yes. Ooh, all you have to do is yell at Michelle. Seems like a canary. Yeah. Okay. Going back to the recorder line. That agent's threatening to leave me there. I said, they'll try to kill me. So you either say it or I'll leave you there. Please don't let him kill me. Begging this man for my life. Say it or I'll leave you there. It's like, fine, just don't let him kill me. Making fun of a rape victim. One that had almost been murdered, and people making up a pathetic excuse. Pathetic excuse. 15 years later, someone calling somebody a faker and they should be able to kill them. Seriously? Then he goes, why would the FBI help a person like you? Well, they're going to try to kill me. So, like, murder's not good enough. They've tried to kill me. So, the other one yells out, we could always use Pete's tape, but weird with yourself. The shower scene in the other room. It's already documented shower scene. They photoshopped it. They said in 18 they photoshopped all their lives. Danny and Jen didn't know anything about it. They even framed them for reporting it, and they didn't even know anything about it. And then July 24th, 25, an investigator did a body ratio. It wasn't even me. They put my head on somebody else's body, where March 1st to 3rd of 21, they said they put two clips together, put her in a porn, it's not her, it's them. Then later on, what you're describing as showering, ha 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 ha. She figured out what they did. May 12th, 22 at noon, they found a tape of them admitting a shower scene in the other room. May 26th, 22 at noon, the shower scene was done on purpose. They made it a frame in me March 24th, 22 on 1:30. That was another time they admitted a frame in me. Eric, one of the drug dealers, November 18th, 22. For all the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to do it, my idea to say it for all these people turned around and they fell for it. Danny and Jen on Christmas Eve of 22, I confirmed about everything. About buying cameras, a shower scene in the other room. They didn't know anything. To make me look weird with myself, they're laughing at me in front of people in stores. Did you know they were doing that? No. Do you remember the orange, lemon, and grapefruit size bruises all over me, almost passing out in front of people? I remember that. Did you know they were drugging me and beating me and telling me to say weirdo stuff? They're laughing at me in front of people in stores. No, I thought you were working too hard and bruising too easy. Didn't think about it. Kids came out of the room and hugged me. They didn't know. Get it? And then April 16, 23, I heard Danny across the parking lot. Finally went to Dad, asked him what on earth is going on. He said he hired some guy named Pete on his own. It was Pete and his men in our home before. Pete has her frame. Pete has her tape, the filthy, dirty statement. I've never met him. We're talking about a roofie confession where they either laced a Diet Coke while I was out of the room, didn't know they were in the house. They beat and raped me, or where they stabbed me with a date rape drug and told me to say it were sleepwalking. They admitted they used hypnotic drugs and drugged me and told me to say that causes sleepwalking, metal taste in your mouth like I had, and no memory. August 4th of 25, they admitted that. August 5th of 25, they admitted again and call Agent John a coward. And then August 7th, 25, again, Walmart 62, they have those tapes. And then August 30th, 25, up in Summit Mall, Macy's, is documented, verified they used hypnotic drugs when they drugged her and told her to say it before, and that's why she has no memory. I never had anybody in my home. I said, what are you talking about? Now, this is someone I've never even met. Dave hired on his own to run a drug scam on me. Then he said, well, I bet you're going to say you don't know anything about this doctor, like Michelle told an agent. It's not one of my doctors. He works for them. They had lied. He was one of mine. Said, I bet you're going to say you don't know anything about this doctor. I've never heard of him. I thought it was a lady that used my insurance. Found out it was one of Dave's girlfriends. Found out my whole marriage was a scam. I had chest pains. Okay. I said, I don't even know who you're talking about. Still don't. It's a scam. Okay? They're smart asses. I said, what are you talking about? Stops you don't know. Give me a reason. I tell him about my brother-in-law, Craig. Died working for the government. He said, first of all, have you talked to any law enforcement about the threats on your life? I said, the only officers I talked to was August 8th of 18. Midnight light in the security system came out and they were silly. They came out and they said it looked like an alien orb. Angry spirit told me by a dog and let a dog handle it. They didn't want bothered. You're kidding, right? I said, no, matter of fact, I've never even had my neighbors in my home. I've had family and repair guys and installation guys, and that's it. Is that what's going on? Do you know if Dave's cheating? I've never caught him. He starts laughing with the other guy. She said she never caught him. Well, December 9th, 18, Dave verified I never caught him with anyone. So why is that funny? It's not. And then he's like, well, I could take you somewhere, but it comes with no money. I said, I'll have the money to start. Well, if you agree to get information on David and the churches, I can open an informant program. I said, I can do that. Comes with $5,000 a month. He said, you'll have a life of peace as an informant. Nothing legally stated, dated against you again, and only for you and only for you would we do this for. Always put it back as if it never happened. You can't be legally charged for anything again for working this case. Without the chaos and the lies of the case, I have one traffic ticket from '89. That's why Dave used to call me Mary Poppins. Practically perfect in every way here. Makes me a good person. Okay. He said, admit to no wrongdoing and I'll take care of everything in the end. He said, but if you try to tell someone, I'll tell people. No, he's already confessed. He's had everyone in his office knows the whole scam. Already talked to everybody. Everybody knows FBI involved. Okay? That's how stupid this next comment is. But if you try to tell someone, but everybody already knows. Okay? Already confessed. I'll tell people you're crazy and the FBI won't help you. 14th Amendment, you cannot withhold protection from any U.S. citizen. It's a constitutional right. And First Amendment, only a judge can put, who can put a gag order on you? A judge. Can the police do it? No. It takes a judge in a jury trial. We all know that. That's where Walter Moss said that agent was only bullying you. He don't even have the authority to ask you to stay quiet. He's only a higher police officer. He's only bullying you. The police know that. He can't bully you into false statements under threats of arrest. He cannot withhold your money. He cannot misdirect it. And it's illegal for him to even say that to you. He was only bullying you. Okay? He said, but if you need help, my best friend is the chief of police at Canton. And he's one of my best friends. And he always makes sure the Canton police always protect you. And you can trust him. I told Walter that I said the chief of police of Canton in 18 was a really good man. He said a really, really good man. And when I told him what he said to me, I laughed. I had tears. Tears. Chuckling. He said, Karen, you don't realize you're in one of the many witness protection programs. You're not just in an informant case, but a threat and attempted life case. It'd be illegal for the FBI to ever drop you, the Department of Justice, to put him in jail. That agent can't make up his own rules. I said, well, he's already told me. He can't tell you, but you can tell however you want. He said, and he can't make up his own rules. He said there's guidelines. It's for risking your life to get them information the government owes you for the rest of your life. He cannot withhold your money, he cannot misdirect it, and you'll stay in immunity for the rest of your life for working this case. He said, you can never get out of a witness protection program. These people try to kill you, and they could always wait and try to kill you again. You'll always be in protected custody. And you'll always get that money. And he cannot make up his own rules, their guidelines. It's for risking your life to get them information. He cannot tell anybody they can't say anything. He's just a higher police officer. I talked to a criminal attorney, same thing. Talked to the police out of this area, same thing. My friend Grant has a friend that is an FBI agent out of state, and he said the same thing. He said if she honestly did get her money, the only one that could have stole it was that agent. See, that's where at the 6th day we were up there, somebody kicked in our door to the wall. They've made up excuses. Don't report it to another realtor passing out cases. Body cameras were supposed to went up. Stalking me. Heard they sold kitty porn and my grandkids going potty too. Laughed in my face. Had to warn my kids. By the second week, I'm outside, almost passing out in front of the neighbor. Heart's racing through my neck, and he comes over. I'm a nurse. Can I help you? I don't know what's wrong with me. I'll mow your lawn for you. Kept saying I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, I'll just mow it for you. I was almost collapsing. My heart's racing through my neck. Had bruises all over me. I would take a shower. The well water was orange. Dry off, get in bed. Wake up with orange, lemon, grapefruit sized bruises, throwing up, heart racing, severely infected. The only thing I did is take a shower. I would be fine some mornings. I'd wash my hands. I'd be outside working, work really hard on that house. Came in and washed my hands, made a sandwich, had a 2-liter Diet Coke, pour a glass of it, set the stuff on the coffee table, go in and use the bathroom, wash my hands again, and come out and take a drink. Then we went to go to Sam Black. Same thing. I thought just coming in contact with the well water was killing me. I thought it was that toxic. We had it tested. It had high levels of different kinds of iron. Doctor said that wouldn't have done anything. She said, but I understand why you thought it was well water. If it would have E. coli in it or a severe toxin like that, it would have made you that sick. But iron and different kinds, no. I thought it was giving me cancer. Like they said, when the case first started, Karen knew nothing. She only knew Dave was threatening her life and then her family's life. That's all she knew. It was years ago they told people that. And when another time when the case first started, we found out Karen's ex-husband had her so drugged up there. They were drug beat raping her and she wasn't realizing what was happening. And they said it was some judge up there messed up in the drug cartel and everybody stay out of it. They wanted his drug connections and I found out it's just some guy saying he's a judge. So, do I find that agent funny? No. And he left me in hell while they surveillanced and got all those cartel. I was raped, I was tortured, I was stabbed in the neck, bashed in the back of the head. It should have killed me. I was almost shot in the head driving. He had to hide on a shooting night. I was human trafficked. I was drugged till I lost 70 pounds, induced vomiting till my stomach shifted up underneath my ribs. My ribs cage damage from that idiot chicken wing in my arm knocked me in wood railing and beating on me for not answering my phone. He was threatening my life that day. I was raped. I was tortured. And the one guy wasn't a fake FBI agent. They said that he works for that office. And the one in September 18th, 25, Walmart West House, they said they're even the ones, that office, people that work for them, is the ones that are impersonating the Portage County sheriffs. They said September 10th, 25, it was that office. Down there lying to the Tuscarawas County Courthouse. Pulling a drug scam. Where they yelled at Michelle last night, those bikers. Do you realize how many people got human trafficked because of your family being in debt to those drug dealers? I know, I'm sorry. She's sorry if people are dead. She's sorry. I was tortured. Oh, they yelled at her for that. Tortured because of her family's drug debt. They didn't want killed, but they didn't care who else got killed. Ran that horrible drug scam. And up in Akron, they called it a mean teenage stunt that went too far. Roofing somebody and tell them to say something horrible. And Photoshop somebody washing in the shower in another room. It's like a mean teenage stunt, but I went too far. They were beating, raping her. Oh, it went way too far. All for their fucking family's drug debt. Now, Agent John, I like my money. Where the cartels made us a game of paying for the harassment. Having different cartels harass me. They got surveillance on all kinds of them. Got Judge Peters out of Florida and 100 men. You got the Buffalo, New York, several cartels out of Michigan, California, and a bunch of other places. Marshall's is the case, January 20th, 23, Maddie's friend on the police department got a hold of him. Showed up and used the case and got 800. Like they said, she's part of a really big bust. And up in Akron, we all know Karen's Well's still open. It's part of the nationwide human trafficking scam. See, that was a bitch move. Dave having them do stuff like that to me, him and Melissa. I don't find them funny. And I never seen her talk to anybody. I never had them in my home. See, that's where my one neighbor said, "Are you sure they're not playing you?" I said, "I had real bruises. I was really sick. I was really infected. And I never had anybody in my home, and I thought it was a well water." So he's like hearing this be awful. I said, "They're laughing at me in front of people in stores. They were doing it. And that's what was causing it. And I thought it was the well water giving me cancer." I never seen or talked to anyone. So, you know, July 24th, 25. That's when they verified that there wasn't even my body in the other room. They put my head on some other woman showering. Body ratio was wrong. July 25th, 25, somebody in Bob Evans said something smart, and I went off. Walmart 62 in the morning. Investigator from 18. I told that couple never say a word to her again. I interviewed John years ago. He said nothing bad happened to him. So did all her children. Well, they're supposed to have drugged her and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And he was pissed. See, that's where some federal agents and some police had a huddle in the front of Walmart 62. Why were they having those kids make that shit up? John's kids. Thanksgiving 18. Where they made everything up. January 12th, 22 at noon. Officer John stopped them at the door while those kids get taped stating they made everything up. Why are they having those kids make everything, all that shit up? Oh, they're just trying to scare her into giving up the house. That's it. We interviewed her whole family. What did John say on Thanksgiving 18 when I confronted him? He said, "Melissa, I have a make-up something because of the divorce. It was supposed to be moving out." He had told him, "But don't worry about it, Mom. Nobody can say anything bad about you." She'll have her church people make up something too, but don't worry about it. Nobody can say anything bad about you. Just be made up because of the divorce and that you're moving out. It says it again. And then when Melissa pulled that mean stunt on him, sneaking in his house, hiding until, and he was in the bathroom until I came out. He didn't even know she was in his house. Scream lunching at him. He pushed her out of being startled. Now I got you. Had him arrested domestic violence. That's not domestic violence. Had to bail out, get an attorney. Lost his kids for a year. Called me up, "Mom, I need a reliable name to put on the court records to pick up Kenzie Carrington." I know. I said, "John, I work 2 jobs. I don't get off the first one, let alone the second one. I wouldn't be able to keep my apartment. I couldn't keep either job then. I can't help you. I'm sorry. But Mom, these are my kids, and if I don't have a reliable name to pick up the kids from school, I'll lose my kids forever." I said, "John, I'll lose my apartment. I am so sorry. I barely make it now." And he pleads with me, "I need a reliable name. I need you to help me." He wasn't part of it. Just like Danny wasn't part of the tapes before of the shower scene in the other room. April 6, 25. I heard Jen tell Dixie that some lady investigator asked her about it, and she said that they knew nothing of it, nor will they have any part of it, and that I had giant bruises all over me and I was sick. And she realizes what was going on up there, and they will have nothing to do with it. Okay? And just like Josh isn't trying to steal my money, they made up everything on everyone. Oh, and Agent John, where they cackled at you for falling apart June 7th, 23. FBI Agent John fell for the sanitation before. Oh, come on now. That FBI agent fell for that? You're kidding. And publicly mock you cackling. Ask the Starr County Sheriffs how they made a public full audio. They sold videos of it to children. They even dared the FBI to fix it July 9th, 23. 10 o'clock in the morning. FBI wouldn't dare fix it after what one of their agents did. Then they called you a coward August 5th, 25. And as if you didn't know, they used hypnotic drugs when they drugged me and told me to say it before. And that I would have no memory of what those people did. And that's why I had a metal taste in my mouth. And that you let them torture me. And they called you a coward for letting them do it. They don't think you have enough guts to stand up to them. I'd like my money. I need a medical card. A letter of thank you would be nice. I want to blow this.